Today is the 10th of June.
And Mutaz would like to share some memories with us from the day 16 years ago when he became Khalifa.
Today is 10th of June and 16 years ago Huzur was elected Khalifa.
Is that right?
Yes.
I didn't remember that at all. Today is the 10th of June. And exactly 15 years ago. 16 years ago.
82.
MashaAllah. Thank you for reminding me. With me, time passes on in a flow. I don't find any difference between the beginning of a day and the ending of a day and the next beginning and so on. So, the birthdays and special days, my own birthday, for example, is never remembered by me. It's always either Imam Sahib or somebody else who says, Mubarak ho, congratulations. What for? He said, you were born today. Things like that happen to me. And my children also never take any account of these things. Time goes on in the flow. But anyway, 16 years ago exactly, on the 10th of June, I was elected Khalifa. And ever since, things have happened in the world of Ahmadiyyah which are amazing. The pace at which things are moving were never dreamt of before by anybody, except by Hazrat Muslim, who had prophesied such things because of some revelations from Allah. According to those revelations, time was to come when MTA was to be invented. On the shoulders of electric waves, messages were to be conveyed, and baths would come instead of in writing through faxes and MTA, so on and so forth. All these things were revealed to Hazrat Muslim. Everything. And recently something has happened to which my attention was drawn, that this book which I have written is also predicted by Hazrat Muslim in clearest terms. He once saw in a vision Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu. And Hazrat Ali was the fourth Khalifa, remember this. And he has a big book in his hand. And he says, this is my commentary of the Holy Quran, which I have dedicated to you. And I offer this to you, this is your property now. Now this book which I have just written is a commentary of the Holy Quran. A commentary the like of which has never been written during the past 1400 years. I know this, when anybody will read it, he will know there's such connotations as referred to certain by me to certain verses. Such explanations have never been given before by any commentators of the Quran. So that is why Hazrat Muslim had predicted. According to this vision, his fourth Khalifa was to write a commentary which was to be unique. And he will offer it to Hazrat Muslim. And that is exactly what I have done. It's a dedication to Hazrat Muslim. And of course I have been doing it on his behalf. So all things which happened in my lifetime after becoming Khalifa, and all things which are to happen in future, have been foretold by Hazrat Muslim in every detail. Yet there is something which, like Hazrat Caliph is a secret between me and Allah. Because in the beginning, after I was elected Khalifa, I could not pay attention to my worldly affairs and things. And as such, when I came over to London, an amazing thing happened. I saw in a dream that God would make me Nuruddin. And my wife saw in a dream that Hazrat Appa Bushra, my stepmother, was announcing in the mosque that God has turned me into Nuruddin. These two things were completely separate. It was impossible for my wife to imagine this and to realize that my mother, her name is Bushra, which means glad tidings, she is announcing this in the mosque. After that, never have I found myself short of anything. And similar things happened with me, as I have just mentioned, with relation to Hazrat. For instance, you know, this is Allah's way. Even Rasulullah had to borrow money for a while, but it was taken care of by God. So borrowing money is not against this dependence on Allah, but when the time of return of money comes, then it is that Allah moves in and provides you with exactly the same thing. So the first thing which I noticed after this was, for my daily expenses, because I had told the Jamaat that I am going to spend on my family myself, and the Jamaat has nothing to do with this. And I knew after this vision that this will be taken care of. So I sent Safi, my son-in-law, for some shopping, and he offered me a bill of 40 pounds. So I said, I didn't have a single penny with me. I said, come in the evening and I'll give you this. And in the meantime, God gave me exactly 40 pounds to reassure me that the same thing that was happening to Hazrat was going to happen to me. Now, the events which I can quote are so many, but it embarrasses me to tell the details of whatever happened, and also I don't keep count of these things now anymore, because they have gone far beyond my keeping count of them. It happens daily in everyday life. I have to take care of some girls for their marriage, etc., and I have no money, and I say, yes, I will do it. And there comes money showering upon me, relieving me of all the burden, and suddenly I am able to spend that money on a person. So these are the things which are a proof that Hazrat Khalifa never invented things from himself. It's not a history of the past, it's a living revival of the history. So anyone can see it from that point of view. But the special thing which happened after my Khilafat was the increase in the number of baths. The increase has reached a stage which could never be visualized by anyone before. It has reached a stage which had never happened in the entire history of religion. I'm not talking of Islam or Christianity or anything. If you study the facts published by the Christian missionaries, etc., you will never find conversions to Christianity all over the world to the tune of 3 million in 1 year. It happened last year. 3 million Ahmadis in 1 year, and it had never happened before in the history of Islam that people had become Muslims to the tune of 3 million in 1 single year. Nor it has happened ever to Ahmadis before. We were just, moving at almost a snail's pace. A few thousand this year and a few thousand that year. But this was also predicted by Hazrat Muslim Islam. that the spread will be so rapid that it will be impossible to keep count of that. So this is all the promises of Muslim Islam which we see fulfilled. But fortunately they got fulfilled in my time. So this time we are very much hoping to increase the number from 3 million to 5 million in one single year. Already we are reaching close to the target of 3 million last year's, and still we have some 2 months or 3 to go. So my assistant in this, our foreign missionary, has assured me that as far as the rate of conversion and its pace are concerned, last year's rate has already been overshadowed. And in the remaining months we can reasonably hope that inshallah we'll be able to reach the target which was fixed by me, basing on the help of Allah, of course. But the real problem which I face nowadays is to control the newcomers in a manner that they become not only good Ahmadis, but actually Ahmadis who sacrifice their time and finance. If you convert people to that level of conversion where they begin to spend in the cause of Allah, then this is a 100% sure sign that they are not fake baths. No fake person will spend from his pocket. So this I have noticed now is happening in the poor countries of Africa as well. Large number of Africans are becoming Ahmadis, and they become chanda paying Ahmadis, despite the fact that they suffer from hunger and poverty and so many other problems. Yet for the sake of Allah they have something out of their pocket. So also I have attempted to turn them into preaching Ahmadis. Once they become preaching Ahmadis, then it is impossible for them to revert to their own past. Two things are essential: paying chanda and preaching. If new Ahmadis do this, they will all be a source of pride for Ahmadiyyat and a source of income for Ahmadiyyat and a source of spread of Ahmadiyyat in the areas where our missionaries could not reach. Because these people who get converted, they have their relatives, they belong to the area where people know them, they are familiar to them, and a missionary's word cannot carry weight with such people, but their word can carry weight. So it may become a new boost. Allah knows best, but I am hoping that 1 year we will reach the number 1 crore, that is 10 million in one single year. That will be a great history created by Ahmadiyya during our time, inshallah. So all this began to happen on the 10th of June 1982, right? And now I look back at what has happened in the past. We reached celestial heights with the grace of Allah, right? Please. Before he went shopping, and after that the bill was 40 pounds.
Oh, now I understand.
This is exactly what happened. So I said, just a minute, no, I'm so sorry, no, I didn't borrow then. What happened was, it was a long time ago, so I got a bit confused. Now I remember it clearly. I told him to spend the money from himself. And when he has shopped, so it was borrowing from him, in fact, you know. When he has finished shopping, then he should submit the bill to me. So he returned in the evening with a bill of 40 pounds in the afternoon. So he waited for me to give him the money. I said, wait a minute, you return to me in the evening, and then I will give this money to you. So he returned in the evening, and before that, God had sent me exactly 40 pounds. Exactly 40 pounds. So this is how it all started, as a proof that it was not just my impression in that or that of my wife, it was actually Allah's decision which was going to take care of me from then on. Right? Inshallah, amazing. Huh? How you do it. Yeah, I didn't know I had said so much. And now I listen to you, I was amazed. You remember everything and translate it most beautifully. Jazakallah. Allah bless you. And have your medicine from my office. I want you to be rid of it very quickly. Huh? Okay. Because you're very precious to us. Please, next.